Good morning, folks. This is Jen Espinosa-Goswami coming to you live from my page over at Be Weightless. If you have not liked my page yet, please make sure you do so because I do go live every week, and you will be able to see my posts when they come through the feed. I provide resources all around meal planning, gym-free fitness, mindset work, and long-term goal achievement and strategy. So that's what I provide as a product-free health coach and a motivational speaker. I would love to have you join my community, like my page, engage on my videos, and let me know what you would like to get assistance with, because these weekly videos are an opportunity for you to get free coaching, if you will, when you join me live. You can also join me on the replay. If you're watching the replay, that's totally awesome, and I will still respond to your comments. So make sure to comment away and like and heart and all those good things, because I do respond to everyone who joins my community and engages with me. So today's video is talking about do you go all in whatever it is you're trying to achieve in your life? And this is a really interesting theme for me because I can honestly say I haven't always gone all in, but I recently had a couple of experiences that allow me to grasp the idea and to understand that it's taking me personally to a different level when I'm able to go all in. By the way, going all in has a different definition for everyone. I'd be really curious to hear, though, what your interpretation of going all in or giving 110%, what that looks like and what that feels like. Feel free to pop your comments below this video because I'd really like to hear from you as to what that means. I'll share with you a little bit about what going all in means to me and why, historically, I have not chosen to go that route. It's not necessarily having to do with fear, but it has to do with my type of personality and how I tend to accept challenges. So what I think of, and I keep coming back to this, I used to watch The Apprentice, the Celebrity Apprentice, you know, with Donald Trump. But I liked the celebrity version because he would have all these like B-listers and C-listers and have-beens, but maybe not anymore, is on the show. And one season there was Lou Ferrigno on the show. You know, Lou Ferrigno, if you don't know, he is an amazing bodybuilder. He was the Incredible Hulk on the TV series. And he was a guest on the Celebrity Apprentice one season. I don't even remember which season it was. He sounded like a broken record because whenever there was a challenge that came up and he was accused of not participating as much as he could, every single time he kept on saying, oh, I just give 110%, I give 110%. Like, that's what he kept on saying. So that's kind of the theme that's running in the back of my head is, what does that really mean to give 110%? And how do you get to a place where you feel comfortable giving 110%? Not necessarily in everything you do, but at least in those things that matter most to you. Thanks, Mary, for joining us this morning. How are you? So I mentioned that I historically have an issue with giving 110%. And that has been true for me my entire life. So for example, when I was going to school, I was a very good student, but I was not the valedictorian. I was not the straight A student. Actually, I was a straight A student, but I wasn't the best. I wasn't trying to reach for number one. I wasn't trying to beat anyone else. I mean, to some extent, there was a little bit of competitive nature in me, but not so much. I reached a certain level in school, and that was fine for me, and that's where I wanted to be. There were very few moments in my schooling, in my early childhood, where I'm like, I am going to be the best. So that means that I have never tried to give 110% in what I did, because I achieved a certain mastery of what I was trying to do, whether it was school or physical or trying to think what other things I was involved in. I would achieve a certain level, a certain skill level, and then I would back off and move on to the next thing because novelty was really important to me, and it still is important to me. I'm not trying to bash anyone for what's important to them today. We're just talking about if you struggle with going to 110% in what it is you're achieving in life, how do you kind of bridge that gap and how do you get to that place? Through the lens of some of my personal experiences. So Mary, I'm glad to hear you're good this morning. Isn't it gorgeous out? Oh, what beautiful weather we have today, aside from the little bit of rain we had this morning, which was very refreshing. So in my past, I have struggled with giving 110% in anything. And that's just being completely honest, because I never, and I can't blame it on the fact that I didn't have any role models, because I had folks in my life who do give 110%, were amazing at everything they did. But again, not so much in a competitive sense, but they put everything of what they had and were able to accomplish. I didn't have a lot of those role models when I was growing up. My parents worked hard, but that was kind of the extent of it. And when I'm looking at my friend circle, the kind of people I would hang out with, and your friends have a huge impact in what you're able to achieve. So that's a good place to start when you're wondering why you can't get where you want to be. Looking at your friend circle can give you a good idea. We tend to go to the average of the people we spend our time with. So if the average of the people you spend time with is not where you'd like to be, then it might be time to reevaluate those things. When I was in school, all of my friends were at a lower level than I was academically. So they were the C students, they were the non-honor students, they were the maybe don't even want to go to college students. And I always knew I was going to go to college. So that was an interesting dynamic, because if I cried about getting a B on a homework assignment, they wouldn't understand that, because to them a B was good. So, excuse me, to some extent, the people I surrounded myself with did not push me to give more than I was giving. So I was doing good. You know, it's not like I wasn't achieving things. I was doing great as a kid. I was academically very strong, and that came easy to me. But again, I never pushed the envelope with what I could achieve. Now, why is this coming up? Because lately, in the past 3 months or so, I would say that I'm reaching a point where I'm like, no more. I need to take myself to a place I've never been. And the only way I can do that is by going all in. And what does that mean? Well, I joined a half marathon, and I'm training for a half marathon right now. Despite the fact that I've never been a runner, despite the fact that it's been about 5 or 6 years since I ran a 5K, despite the fact that I have asthma and it's not 100% controlled right now. I'm still working on it. I'm still doing my inhaler. I'm still doing my nasal spray. I'm doing a lot of things to make it easier for me. But I have an allergy to my dog, and I'm not going to get rid of my dog. So, you know, that's a situation that's not necessarily going to improve. I can control it to some extent, but it's not going to go away. At least not in the foreseeable future, and I don't really want it to go away, because that means my dog won't be here anymore. So, you know, I have a lot of challenges why I shouldn't be going and signing up for a half marathon. Thanks, Mary. Yeah, I'm super nervous about this, but we'll make it work. So here was my mindset when the opportunity came up to me. So I work out with a group of moms called Fit for Moms. Fit for Mom Twin Cities, and they're a group of women who everything from prenatal to postnatal to grown-up kids, but they work out together, and we meet 3 times a week, sometimes 4. We have a running club. Yay, Mary, I'm so glad you're going to join us. Yes, we're going to do this. We're both going to kill it. So you're doing the half marathon too? That's so cool. Oh, I'd love to see you there. So this group has what they call a run club. And the first round of the run club is already almost over. And when they started it, I'm like, I'm not a runner. Why would I sign up for this? I'm totally not a runner. One of the reasons why I signed up to work out with this group is because they do HIIT style workouts, which is my type of workout, but they do it outside. And I was getting to a point where, because I'm working from home now, I'm bored with being at home, or I feel the pressure to do other things at home other than work out, which might be cleaning, might be doing other types of work, working my other business, those sorts of things. So I didn't feel like I was most effective in my workouts when I was doing it at home anymore. When I was working corporate, my home workouts were the best thing ever for me, and I rocked it out. But now that I work from home, I felt the need to take it somewhere else to challenge myself. So I joined this group for the HIIT workouts, not necessarily to run. And when the opportunity for Run Club first, presented itself to me, I'm not a runner. And that was kind of it, right? I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm not a runner. And I've been telling myself this story for years and years and years. I'm not a runner. I'm still an overweight woman, which means it puts more pressure on my joints. I turned 40 this year. I'm a little bit older than I used to be, and I have asthma. So, this would appear to be the worst time for me to join up, just sign up for Run Club, especially knowing that it's not something that really fuels my passion, if you will. But at the same time, I realized, well, wait a minute, I am kind of stagnant right now. I've been consistently doing these HIIT workouts 3-4 times a week since last August. So I feel that it's not challenging me as much. I mean, I can certainly, kick it up a notch or two during the course of the workout, which is 60 minutes long. But I still feel like even with a trainer there, I'm not pushing myself. So our running club instructor, she posted in the group saying, yes, here is the link to sign up for the registration for this race. We finish our Run Club with a race. And she said, yes, there's a 5K option, there's a 10K option, and there's a half marathon. And she said, yeah, we do label ourselves, Mary. I'm curious to hear, what do you label yourself with, or with saying that you're not? I know you're a great mom, but is there something you tell yourself that you're not? I'd be curious to hear what that is, if you feel comfortable sharing. So the Run Club instructor, she said, well, if you have any interest at all in in participating in the half marathon, let me know ASAP so that I can get you a training plan. And so I thought about that. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder what a training plan would look like for that. And it kept bothering me. It kept on sitting in the back of my head. And I kept coming back to it. Because, the idea of a 5K, I was like, it doesn't do anything for me. Like, I've done 5Ks before. It's not necessarily that I love 5Ks, because, again, I don't identify as a runner. But I knew that that wouldn't be interesting enough to me. But I kept on thinking, half marathon. What would it take from me, like physically, emotionally, mentally, what have you, to do a half marathon? What would that take? And within 24 hours, I said, I need to do this. That's how clear it was to me. It's like, I need to do this. I need to really take myself totally outside of my comfort zone. And it just kept bothering me. And so finally I posted it in the group and I said, I'm going to do it. I'm just going to be, I'm totally scared. Like, I have no idea how this is going to work out for me. But I posted and said, I need this training plan. I need to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm signing up for your next club. By the way, the next Run Club doesn't start till June. So I am literally going to be training on my own for all of May, which I'm okay with. I know how to do that. I have a plan now. We'll talk about that in a second. In the meanwhile, I'm going to let my dog go in here because she's kind of whining. Excuse me. Come on in. Come on. So I'd be curious to hear from you. What does going all in mean to you? Now, I mentioned that for me, it was the opportunity presented itself, and that's usually what happens, right? Someone mentions something to you, you hear about an opportunity, you have a group of people, those things come up for you, right? And you kind of sit on it and you're like, Or maybe you feel this powerful like feeling in your gut, or like a butterfly feeling, and it's intriguing to you. Okay, that's step one. What do you do from there, right? Like, it's intriguing, it's at the back of your head, you're kind of considering it, but you're scared. That's totally legit. You're going to be scared. And I've been doing a lot of mindset work in the past year, so I will say that I feel plenty scared. But I don't feel scared in the sense of I'm going to crash and burn. I feel scared in the sense of I need to have a plan. So for you, when it comes to giving 110% to whatever your goal is, and I'm not here to judge what your goal is. If you want to share your particular goal, I would love to hear from you and hear what that might look like. It doesn't have to be a half marathon or training for something particular. It could be something very specific to you. Like, I am finally going to get a control on eating gluten-free, or I'm finally going to get to a place where I enjoy exercising, or there are so many different ways you can go with your health, right? I'm going to get to a place where I'm writing down 3 things I love about myself every day. Your goal is very specific to you, and I'd love to hear what your goal is. But sometimes when we decide what our goal is, we put a lot of energy into it in the beginning. We say, yes, I'm going to do this. And then you write it out and you share it with everyone. And you're like, yes, yes, yes. But that goal is not connected to how it challenges you or how it fits into your overall strategy for your health. that's where you could lose and fizzle and burn and lose that energy there. And again, if you're at a place where it feels comfortable to you, then you're probably not 110%. Like, many of us set goals within our comfort zone, and you might hear this all the time, like, go outside your comfort zone, stretch yourself. Growth happens when you're at the point of pain. You might hear all these memes and all these sayings and quotes, and they're all true, but they seem kind of cheesy, right? Well, there's a place beyond which you feel like you can achieve something. And if you're not dreaming about that place, if you're not envisioning that place, if you're not even aware of that place, then you may not be giving 110% into whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So let me tell you what 110% looks like in my particular case. And this is different from anything I've ever done in my life. Like, I've never operated this way, and it's a really interesting process for me. So I signed up for this half marathon. It's in July, so I have 2 months to train. Yesterday was my first training day. But you know what? I didn't just sign up and say, I'm going to do this and make a public declaration. No, I spent an hour and a half downloading this training plan from this, but I didn't just download the plan. Oh, no, 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 no. That would have been 50%. You know, I was halfway there, downloading the plan. No, I took this plan. I looked at how many miles per week I had to accomplish. I looked at how many rest days, how many cross-training days, because yes, it's not just running. I have to cross-train. I have to work on my muscles. I have to do other things to ease out the tension of running consistently. I understand this, like, intellectually. But I actually went through this entire 4-week, no, it's actually like an 8-week training plan. I plotted out how many miles per week. I actually decided which days per week were my rest days, because this is very important. You should always incorporate rest in whatever training you do. I decided exactly what days of the week where I was going to do how many miles, but I didn't just stop there. So once I figured out what my plan looks like, by the way, I have a vacation in the middle of this training a couple of weeks before, actually maybe about a month before I do the race. And even during my vacation, okay, I didn't spell it out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever, because we're going to be traveling in the car. I might not be able to run those times, but I said, this is how many miles I'm going to do that week when I'm on vacation. I'm not taking a break during vacation. I'm going to still train because I'm that intense about that. That's what 110% looks like to me. So after I plotted it all out, I scheduled it in my phone. This is intense, folks. Like, I can't pretend that it's not there anymore or that I'll push it off till tomorrow. No, I'm getting completely serious about this. Do you schedule your workouts? Do you schedule when you're going to meal plan? Do you schedule when you're going to take time for you? Do you schedule your journaling or your meditation? Do you schedule your priorities and your health priorities? Do you schedule your sleep? Some people I know don't get enough sleep. Thank you for the love, Mary. And I'm not getting down on anyone if you don't schedule things, but you must have some sort of plan. It doesn't have to necessarily be scheduled in a calendar, but it does have to be clear to you with no guessing, no wondering, and no excuses. It has to be a plan for whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. And that's how I support people. I help them come up with a plan. I'm very detail-oriented. I come up with the nitty-gritty. I bridge the gap between where they are today and where they want to be. Those things excite me. I love to implement. I love to do that. So I massage my plan. I scheduled it in my calendar. I know exactly which days I'm training. I literally move my schedule around my training. That's how intense I am about this, because I know that the way I'm motivated, if I don't get very clear on what I'm doing and when, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. And I understand that about myself. This is an important lesson if you're watching, because what do you need to understand about yourself in order to push past your limits? Maybe it's that you know you can't do it on your own and you need to sign up for support. That's a great thing to know about yourself, because that way you can load yourself with everything you need to succeed. And that's important. If you're not aware of what motivates you and what gets you going, how are you ever going to achieve what you want to achieve? So I mentioned that, okay, so I've got my training plan. It's scheduled in my phone. It's on my calendar. It's legit, even during my vacation. But more than that, I went above and beyond. So I downloaded a running app. at the suggestion of my running coach, and she's on this app as well. But I sampled it yesterday for the first time because I started training yesterday, and it's so fun. It's called Strava, Strava. And I'm not like familiar with this at all because I'm not a runner. I don't know what resources are available to runners. And let me tell you, it's awesome. So I was running, you know, and I had my Strava app going. So it was working through GPS. It was telling me how many miles. So I was at a training track yesterday. I was indoor because it was raining, and I still got every half mile. I still got a verbal confirmation of what my mileage was and how my pace was, which was helpful for me because that's feedback, right? And that's feedback that I don't have to think too much about. That's another thing that's important. You know, you have your plan, you're not thinking about it because it's in stone, it's there. You don't have to make a decision about anything. The same is true with the tools and resources used to support you along the way, whether it's checking in with the coach who tells you exactly what you're going to do, or it's an app that's telling you here's where you are, and you can kind of figure out from there how to get where you need to be. Love the app. By the way, some of the things that I purchased right away. So this is how you also know that you're all in, is when you purchase things to support you. And I struggle with this because I'm a very budget-friendly person, and I grew up in a kind of environment where I only had one pair of shoes for my childhood. Not the entire childhood. I outgrew it, so I had to, you know, I had to get a new pair of shoes every year. But I only had like one pair of running shoes as a kid, and those shoes were expected to last me as long as they could possibly last me. So I definitely would not have been runner friendly as a kid because I would have worn out my shoes within a few months, and we wouldn't have had the money for me to buy another pair of shoes. I actually bought myself some running shoes. This is my second pair of shoes. I didn't just buy any pair of shoes. I went to the Twin Cities Running Club, which ironically is by my chiropractor. And I got fitted. I talked to the expert there who has logged hundreds of miles himself. And I said, here's my thing. I've got some nerve damage in my left foot. I know my gait is not 100% correct. And I need shoes that can get me to a half marathon. So, you know, he looked at how I was walking. He tested a couple things, how the shoes fit me. He went up like a size and a half from what I normally wear. And he's like, yeah, you need that space in the shoe. Otherwise, you're going to be limping within 10 miles. I didn't know that, but I went to an expert because he knows that and he has the experience. I don't have the experience, which is why I sought out his expertise. Plans are great. Mary is saying plans are great because then the decisions are made ahead of time. Yes, you don't need to think about it. The more you take your decision making away from anything you're trying to achieve, the more likely you're going to achieve it. And that sounds so weird, right? Like we feel like we need freedom of choice and all. It's garbage. We don't need freedom of choice because we don't necessarily make the right choices in the moment. But with a plan, it's written in stone. You know exactly what's going on. You just follow the plan, and it's easier on yourself and on everyone else because you're communicating your needs to everyone else as well with your plan. What else did I get? So I mentioned that I purchased into this decision. I'm going to be joining the run club with this instructor because she's going to lead us through pace and other things we need to be aware of, how to prevent injury, all those things. I also bought this, which is called Road ID. It has my name. It has my husband's name. It has the fact that I have asthma because I was a little concerned. I'm like, I've never run with asthma. It's a new thing that I developed recently. I don't know how to do this in a safe way and still, you know, be able to breathe, which is really important for running or doing anything. And I'm comfortable doing my HIIT workouts 3 times a week, 60 minutes a time with asthma, but I'm not comfortable running longer than I've ever run in my life with asthma. So it was recommended that I get this bracelet so that if somebody finds me on the side of the road and I am seriously gasping for breath, obviously I can't tell them what I need at that time or how to assist me. So this bracelet tells them who to contact in case of emergency, who is my husband. But I had even more fun with this. I'm a very visual person. So you'll notice out here, there's a little 13.1. That's my visual marker. This is what I'm working towards. So not only do I wear this band when I'm exercising and running and training, but it reminds me what I'm working for. Having that visual milestone is really important. So if you're working towards a goal and there's something that visually represents what that goal means to you, whether it's a picture from a magazine, a phrase that describes how you want to feel by the time you reach that, or just a simple mile marker or a simple rep or a simple weight. You know, you can keep that visual reminder in front of yourself as much as you want. You can keep it on your phone. You can keep it on your desk, wherever you happen to spend most of your time. That's a good way to recommit, to have that in front of you all the time. What else did I do? So I bought a bunch of things, by the way. I hope my husband's not watching this. I bought a flip belt because, oh, well, now you know what size I am. To carry my phone, to carry my inhaler, to carry my gear so that I can have my hands free and focus on running. Less distraction means the more likely I'm going to achieve it. I have headphones at home, but they're the kind that kind of like go in and out of your ear and they keep falling out. I'm like, no, that's not satisfactory. I need something better. Excuse me. So I got some headphones that actually wrap around my ear. This is really important for me because I want to rock out to my music, and I downloaded a bunch of running music as well. I told you I'm going all out for this. I downloaded a bunch of running music. I got proper headphones that actually fit around my ear and are quite comfortable. I tried them yesterday, so I know what's going on. I'm not holding anything back. I'm doing everything. I'm putting all of my energy towards this. I even talked to my group fitness instructor, and I told her I can't keep the same energy into these HIIT workouts that I've been doing 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to need to scale back on that so I can focus on training. So, you know, I'm saying yes to a lot of things like, you know, headphones and road bracelets and things. I'm saying yes to a lot of things, new shoes. I'm also saying no to other things that distract me, things that do not lead me towards where I want to go. And that's not to say that exercise is not good or exercise aside from running is a distraction. I do have to incorporate certain cross-training exercises, which I can do on my own. I'm comfortable doing that because I'll be spending a lot of time outside, a lot of time on the road doing my running. So I feel more comfortable now doing my cross-training at home. I have all the tools and resources I need to do that. And I even have a plan of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be lifting. So it's a good thing when you're looking towards your goal. How committed are you to that goal, and how can you show that commitment? Not just to others, but also to yourself. I've shown you some of the ways I've committed. I have that plan down. I know exactly what I'm doing and when I'm doing it and where. Maybe not where so much. I'm still looking for running trails. I've downloaded the apps, the resources. I've purchased things that will help make it easier for me on the day of the race, but also when I'm training. Another thing I purchased was a foam roller because I asked my chiropractor, I said, well, I've never run this many miles before. What is something that you found helpful because she's a runner, what is something you found helpful for yourself that you wish you had known before you started training? And she said, I would have done more foam rolling. So, you know, taking the advice that's available to me, but only using the stuff that's helpful for me. And my kids love the foam roller, by the way. So I said yes to a certain number of things. I purchased into things that are going to support me. And I said no to other things. So some of those things I'm saying no to might be, maybe I'm going to say no to spending as much time meal planning. I'm going to say no to those workouts that I've been consistently doing for almost a year now because I want to protect my energy. I want to conserve my energy. I want to focus my energy. And the best way to do that is to say no to certain things. What can you say no to? I can guarantee you, if you write down 10 things right now that are helping you get towards your goal, there's another 15 that are not helping you get towards the goal that you do every day. Try this. If you have a few spare moments and a piece of paper, write down 10 things you're doing semi-regularly, so maybe not on the daily, but on the weekly, that you are doing to achieve your goal or to get closer to your goal. And then see how many things you can write down that you do regularly, whether daily or weekly, that are not helping you get to your goal. You got to be honest with yourself, folks, and where you're spending your time, your money, your energy, and your focus. Those things are all important to achieving your goals. So that's my demonstration and my share for how I'm going 110%. I'm spending a lot of time. I'm seeking out the right advice. I am spending money. I am, and by the way, I'm the kind of person who is used to doing things on the cheap, and I need to shift that in order to challenge myself. Not to say that you need to spend a bunch of money to achieve great results, because I hear those conversations a lot in the business world. Oh, you need to buy a high-end coach in order to achieve great things. I don't necessarily believe that's true. However, I also believe that the more money you pour towards something that's important to you, the more skin you have in the game, the more likely you're going to follow through, the more likely you're going to be wrong, the more likely you're going to implement, the more likely you're going to feel aligned with what it is you're trying to achieve. So if you're a person who has consistently refused to put money into yourself for one reason or another, maybe you feel like it's too expensive. Maybe you feel like there are better uses of the money. Really sit with that and see why that comes up for you. Sit with it and feel like, because there's a deeper emotion behind that. There could be a story revolving around you not being worth it, or you being not needing support for whatever it is you're trying to achieve. But if you haven't achieved what you're trying to achieve so far with this particular thought around money and investing in yourself, then perhaps it's not serving you as well as you need to be supported. So that's a really good consideration to put out as you're looking at what your goal is. This is really long and I do have to head out. So thank you so much for joining me. Today we're talking all about how do you give 110%. And even when you don't know how to get to where you want to get, but you have that feeling, that tickle, that intuition, the curiosity to do something that is very challenging for you, very scary for you, very never done it before for you, and you want to be there. If you're going to take something that's scary and you're going to go for it, go all in. No half-seas, no backs. That's what my daughter says, no backs. You can't give it back. Go all in. And don't just go, take it to the 20th degree, whatever it is for you. If you're like, well, I'm going to eat 5 servings of fruits and vegetables today. Fantastic. Take it to 10, take it to the nth degree, because chances are good that you're going to fall short of 10, but you're probably going to be above 5, right? If you shoot for the moon. And when it comes to investing in yourself, you are worth it. Girl, you are so worth it. And anytime you tell yourself that you're not, that's a story that you might need to visit. I can support you in limited ways that way. I'm not a mindset coach. I've learned a lot by working with mindset coaches. I will challenge you and I will encourage you to think bigger than you're currently thinking when it comes to your health. I may not be the best person to help you get past some stories you have from your past. So money stories, worth stories, those sorts of things. But I am all about empowerment. I'm all about you achieving those scary big dreams, because that's what excites me. And that's one of the reasons I signed up for a half marathon, even though I'm not a runner. You get to define who you are. You get to decide what that looks like. And if you need expertise to get you to that point, I would love to help you out. By the way, I did want to throw out there that I do have some support for you. I have a workshop coming up that's all about salads. And I'm a person who hated salads. So I'm one of those will never eat rabbit food kind of person. I tried a zone diet, which was all like salads with balsamic dressing on it. And I was just miserable for about the month I was able to last on that. So one of the things I really learned how to master is how to love eating vegetables and how to love putting together a salad that doesn't necessarily look like a traditional leaf and tomato salad, but is still plenty healthy and still has really good nutrients in it. I'm hosting a workshop, which is private. It's in my house. You don't get the address until you register. But during the course of this 2-hour workshop, and it's over the lunch time, so if you're someone who works, it may be a challenge for you, works outside the home, it might be a challenging time for you. If you can take some time away from your day, it's a great 2-hour workshop. Not only do we have 5 different salad recipes I call it salads that don't suck. 5 different salad recipes that we're going to kind of put together and assemble, but you get to take those salads home with you. So it's going to be on a Wednesday. You get to have those salads so that by come Friday, come Saturday, you have a salad in your fridge that you can just enjoy without having to prep anything. It's all put together for you. Your salad dressing will be separate so it doesn't make it soggy and gross. I love walking people through this, and I only offer this about once a year. Sometimes I do cookie parties and things like that, but that's very infrequent. So I don't really offer this a lot. And May is a good time to come up with your salad game and really figure it out. So it's not the salads that are loaded with like mayonnaise and like sweet, you think of those potato salads, mayonnaise and bacon and cheese and all that crap. We're not doing those kinds of salads. We're also not doing the tomato and lettuce kinds of salads. Those are boring. We're going to do salads that have plenty of healthy grains, plenty of healthy nuts and seeds, that have light dressings that are dairy-free. Most of the people, some of the salads dressings may not be dairy-free, but it's really important for me to focus on dairy-free types of things. So I'll be having lots of options that way. Very refreshing salad dressings, not just balsamic vinaigrette, because not everyone likes balsamic. But I love walking people through this, and you get to walk away with 3 different salads and the recipes for the salads. So it's super fun. And I will pop the link for that to register down below this video. If you're available, it's May 16th between 11:30 and 1:30 in the afternoon. If you have children and you want to bring them, I will also have some happy family snacks on hand. This is not a happy family party, but it's something that I always have in my house. So your kids will also have something to munch on if they're not a big salad eater. I like to make sure people who come to my house feel that they're welcome and that they have everything they need. So, and I'll be providing drinks of some sort, something that's probably calorie-free, like some yummy teas, iced tea or something like that. So I will support you. You will have good food. We'll have good fun. We'll learn how to make salads that don't suck. If that's interesting to you, it's only $40. Which includes everything. It includes you taking home the salads, it includes the recipes, it includes what we're going to be learning during the course of the 2 hours we're together. So it's a steal of a deal. The people who did this last year with me had a really good time and keep talking about it. So I will pop the link to register for that. If you're available, I'd love to see you. Otherwise, thank you for joining me. Jen Espinosa-Goswami talking about, are you 110% committed, and how to get there and how to feel good about what you're doing. And if you have any questions or you have something you'd like me to address for my next weekly live, which is next week at 9:30 Central Time, then please pop that below this video so that I can address the things that matter most to you. In the meanwhile, have a beautiful day, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks for joining, Mary.